What's going on, Shalom family? What's going on? What's going on with everybody? Thank everybody for tuning in. What's going on? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you watch it via YouTube. If you're watching online, don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and all that good stuff. My YouTube channel, it's Majors 1 on YouTube, and so don't forget to tune in and lock in to the channel. Got some things going on with upcoming gatherings and things like that, so definitely stay tuned to everything. We definitely had an awesome weekend. Everybody is still high off the weekend, and got a lot of stuff going on, so definitely awesome and phenomenal, but it just don't stop, so the work continues. And so this week we will be having another busy weekend in B.O.O.M, Jacksonville, as well as B.O.O.M, Atlanta. We have our Feast of Weeks going on, which falls on Sunday. We're going to have our normal Shabbat service on Saturday in both locations in Jacksonville and Atlanta. And then on Sunday, we're going to have Pentecost feast and commemoration and things like that. So I'm definitely excited about what's going on, what's happening within B.O.O.M and things like that, and what I'm seeing amongst Israel and amongst the community as a whole. This conversation and dialogue with our Christian brothers and things like that. So it's definitely phenomenal, definitely awesome. A lot of brothers and sisters are linking up, inquiring, about heritage, history, getting into a lot of things, dealing with a lot of gifts and things like that. So it's truly a blessing. A lot of brothers and sisters who were family, now they're starting to see eye to eye on the same page with a lot of things. And so for us, it's just about making sure that everybody's on one accord, not forcing anybody, not trying to change anybody. Again, I said not trying to change anyone, but it's only the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, that can do that. But we're just creating an environment where brothers and sisters can be in the same spot and just let the Spirit do what it does. And trust me, seeds sometimes get planted that you're never around to see manifest, and it's not our job to be around to see those things manifest. We got a lot of things coming up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, the conference is on my YouTube channel. Go ahead over there and subscribe. The YouTube channel is It's Majors 1. And so definitely subscribe to It's Majors 1. Blessings to you all. Shalom to you all. Love all the family that's tuned in. Shalom to family, Mishpat Ka, and all of Israel that's out there. Shalom to my Christian brothers and sisters who are tuning in as well. We have a lot of great things coming up. This week, of course, we have Pentecost this week, as well as our normal Shabbat service on Saturday in Atlanta. The Atlanta location is at my brother and my sister congregation, where we have service at TWIM, True Word International Ministries. Hey, what's going on? My big sister, Lady Howard. That address is 7581 Tar Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia. That is next to Rim Time. So if you can't find it, you can't get to it, it's next to Rim Time. Service will be at 11 o'clock. In Jacksonville, we have B.O.O.M Jacksonville kicking off as well. That is also at one of my brothers in the Lord, Reverend Randy Sewell, is at Solid Rock Baptist Church, where we have service at on Saturday on Shabbat at 11 a.m. That address is 1418 Van Buren Street. 1418 Van Buren Street in Jacksonville, Florida. So both services will be going on at 11. And then on Sunday at 3 o'clock, we're going to have Pentecost service as well as the Pentecost feast. And thank you, Lady Howard. And so we're there. And then also, don't forget, if you are in the York, Pennsylvania, DMV area, I'll be traveling up there next Saturday, next weekend. I'll be teaching up there. I'll be teaching heritage to some of our Christian brothers and sisters up there. Big shout out to my brother who is on here right now, Brother Jameson, who put everything together. Jameson, if you could put the address up, please. If they're in the York, Pennsylvania area, I'll be teaching heritage there to our Christian brothers and sisters, as well as some of the Israelites that's going to be there as well. I don't have it on hand right now, but the address, that's going down. That's going to be awesome. And then after the 22nd, the following week, we have Higher Ground Ministries of the World. We have the Holy Convocation. I think it's 14th year Holy Convocation with Apostle Pop Curry. All right. I'm definitely blessed to be amongst the High Ground family. And so that's going to be awesome. Don't forget, check that out if you're interested in the convocation. We have classes going on during the daytime. I'll be teaching on heritage at the convocation as well to many of our Christian brothers and sisters there. So if you're interested, definitely inbox me, hit me up, or you can also hit up. Many of you may not be friends with Lady Lot, but you can inbox me and I can get you the information if you're interested in coming to the class as well as the service as well. So it's going to be awesome. All right, my brother Robert Jameson just put the address up. It's going to be the address is up on the screen. All right. The correct spelling for my YouTube channel is www. It's youtube.com. It's Majors, ITSMAJORS and 1. That's it. 1, not ONE, just 1. And it should come up as B.O.O.M Church. It should come up as B.O.O.M Church. So the conference is on that page. If you do tune into it, definitely subscribe to the page so that when I upload videos, you can also get those uploads and you get the alert to the upload. All right. So definitely it's going to be awesome. We're going to have an awesome, fabulous week. Actually month is going down. B.O.O.M Jacksonville. We got all that stuff. B.O.O.M Atlanta, TWIM, High Ground Ministers of the World, all these things. We just came off an awesome conference, James 1 and 1. So we got some more stuff going on. Also next month in July, we also have the Men and Women's Conference. So if you have not registered, the link is on my page. You definitely don't want to wait till the last minute because it is limited seating, and y'all know how awesome the James 101 conference is. So that Men's and Women's Conference is going to be awesome. It's in Atlanta. The sisters got their own location. The brothers have their own location. It's the same exact day, but definitely want to make sure that you register for the Women's and Men's Conference. That's next month. On, I think, the 20th of July. It's on my page. As well as in August, we got the Hebrew Ball. All right. Shalom, Sister Helen. The Hebrew Ball is not limited to Hebrews, but if you are a Christian and you want to come be a part and hang out with us Brews at the Hebrew Ball, and you like to dress up, if you love to dress up for feast days, this right here is not a feast day, but it is a celebration, a gathering, a fellowship, a number of great music, and just fellowship, food. Of course, y'all know we're going to make sure we dietary that thing, so it's going to be good. But at the same time, it's all about just looking good, dressing up, feeling good, and fellowship with your brothers and sisters. So it's open. If you're a Christian, if you want to be a part, that's cool as well. But it is the Hebrew Ball, so we're going to be decked out and dressed up. But it won't be for a feast day, but it'll be for a gathering, all right? So that's going to be awesome. And if you need any information on the Hebrew Ball, contact my wife, Lady Emma Brown, as well as Lady Janessa Seiler, who is the wife of Moray Derek Seiler, as well as Moray Derek Seiler. Contact them and with the information with the ball. I don't have anything to do with the ball. They putting it together, so that's something that they doing. But I myself am going to be chilling. I'm not doing anything. Thanks, Lady Howard. Thanks for putting that up. Thanks for putting up. If you guys are friends with Apostle Pop Curry, my father in ministry, if you are, friends with him, definitely inbox him and he can get you the information for about convocation. Again, I'll be teaching here. It's a lot of other teachers as well as going to be teaching. There's a night services as well as the day services for the classes. And we'll get more in depth in a lot of things historically, a lot of things biblically. This is also like this is a blessing in itself, you know, for High Ground, all the leaders of High Ground, Bishop Lott, Apostle Howard, Apostle Keith Curry, Lady Howard, Lady Lott, all of them to even open up the door for heritage to be taught in a Christian setting, but they family. So I'm truly blessed and honored to have the opportunity to be able to teach. Be able to teach the class on heritage to them, as well as other brothers. If you're a Hebrew and you want to get more information about heritage, but not only that, there are also other classes that's going on that's very powerful, that taps into spiritual things as well as practical things. So it'll be awesome. All right. So definitely you want to sign up for that, get that, and just contact them. If you're interested, you can inbox me, or you can inbox Lady Howard. She's on here right now, so you can inbox her when we get off and send it. So thank you for the support of my Christian family. They've definitely been open arms. I thank them, man. It's truly been a blessing. But being able to teach heritage is something from a balanced position. I think we're killing a lot of the whole mindset and stigma of lumping all Israelites in the same category, and it opens up the door for dialogue, conversation, for brothers and sisters to listen to each other and reason. And we can help our brothers and sisters in the Christian side with getting some historical information about who we are as a people, but also at the same time, we can learn from them and understanding some spiritual things that we might have thrown away that the Most High is still using today. All right. So that's what this is all about, man. But with that said, that's the information. Have more information, you can hit me up. But I want to get into a quick lesson. I'm not going to be on here long. I told y'all I'm trying to shorten things out. Shalom. Have not been able to connect. Been caring for Dad. Oh, he's experiencing healing. Keep him lifted. We'll call you soon. Okay, Demetrius, definitely, brother. Look forward to building with you as well. I know we talked, and so we'll be praying for your father as well. I need all the brews and all the believers. I need all the believers, period. Believers in Hamashiach. I need y'all to definitely pray for our brother's healing. What's going on, my brother Michael Holloway? What's going on? Bless you, brother. You know, keep doing the great work with balance, man. Just stay balanced. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And I think everything will come together in the will of the Father. I think we'll all meet at that path, and he'll be able to direct our path so we can kind of reason and get an understanding of where we're actually going. Because I think it's a blessing in all of this and what's happening and what's going on. I will say this: the church has always been made up of Israelites and Gentiles. So it's important, if the church has always been like that in the past, then the church is also going to be that way in the future. We just have to work through some things and get some understanding. And then once we do that, then I think the body will come along properly. I think it'll come along properly. But keep doing the great work, man, and just remain innocent with a pure heart about it and things like that. And so definitely we'll be talking soon. Soon as we're gonna let the Lord do that. But I definitely I have been checking you out. So it's definitely a blessing. So I don't think it's a bad connect. I think there's going to be something good. But I want to talk to y'all about, to the body of believers, I want to talk to you guys about leading people in unfamiliar territory. And I want to talk to y'all. I'm going to be quick, all right? So I want to start in the book of Joshua, and I want to start in chapter 1 because it's very interesting to understand this young leader who is put in this position, and he's now having to lead. He had a leader himself. He had the ability to be able to watch. We definitely will, Doc. He definitely have a leader that he had in Moses who was able to show him, give him the best of both worlds. Joshua was a young radical, and when I say radical, not in a bad way, but you know, it would be based on kind of like this generation of believers that we have today, young people who are, in the millennial age, millennial mindset of things. And then you also had a leader and an elder in Moses who understood more traditional ways of things. And so it's amazing and beautiful how the Father took this young radical leader, because coming out of Egypt, you need someone, if you're going to go into a land, a promised land, and take a land, you need someone who is not so much of a nurturer, but you need someone who can also nurture, but you need someone who's a fighter. You need a warrior, because also the generation in which he would be taking in there won't be the ones who actually needed nourishment. Coming out of Egypt, you had Moses, someone who the Father called because there was a people who was going through years of beat down. They didn't need a militant leader. They needed someone who was a nurturer, someone who could care for the people. Plus, understanding that coming out of Egypt, you had a mindset of one particular people who had a bondage mindset, but then you also had the mixed multitude who was non-Israelites who understood what they had done and who partook in many of those things. So you have to have a leader who's balanced in nurturing and being able to consult, being able to, this is the whole point of getting these elders. These elders wasn't so much for just taking Israel and imparting into them, but you're dealing with a whole group of people. This is why it's very important as young leaders to understand when you're going in an environment like we just had at James 1:1, okay? You had Christians there and you had Israelites there. You had Christians who was coming and concerned to try to figure out what was going on. What's going on to you, Pastor Maurice? Love you, man, out in Vegas. You had those who were of the Israelite community, those who haven't stepped foot in a church, because the conference was at a church, who hadn't stepped foot in a church in years. You had those who not only had stepped foot in a Christian church for years, but had a mindset or perspective about the Christian church. Then you had those who were Christians who have watched YouTube and listened to other brothers and sisters who had genuine concerns about things going on in the Hebrew community and certain doctrines being taught. They were skeptical. So you have a community of people coming together, everybody's skeptical, okay? Everybody's like, just being skeptical and still coming, okay, proves that was a level of faith that they even had, because it had to take faith for them to actually step out and say, I'm going to this church. I ain't been in no church. I don't want to be around no Christians. I don't know what to expect, but it took a level of faith to walk in an uncharted territory. What I mean uncharted? Uncharted is going to a city you've never been to. It's going into a church you've never been. They're going to be Christian speakers. And so you yourself is going into a territory of uncomfortability that you try to get away from, but you stepped out on faith on both sides. Now those who are leaders, those who would be engaging this community that don't know what's going to happen. Because in actuality, both of our worlds, being an Israelite and being a Christian, don't mix. It don't work. To those who have deemed it as such, to those who have a limited mindset, it can't work. It's no way you can get Israelites and Christians in the same place without somebody fighting, without somebody arguing, with somebody debating scripture, without somebody saying this person wrong, without somebody saying this. It can't work. It takes faith to even attempt. Many would call that a risk. It takes faith to attempt something like that. So not only that, you have those who had the vision to do it, in myself. It took faith for me to step out and do it. But not only that, the people who came to attend, everybody coming into this one place in Jacksonville, Florida for 2 days on faith. You think the Most High wasn't going to show up? Do you actually think that the Lord wasn't going to show up and do something to confound all of us of our reasoning? You have Joshua, one who would say, hey, man, you can't lead us. Many of them were probably the same age as Joshua. Can imagine leading people of your same age who look at you as their equal? Now, this is very prevalent within the Hebrew community. If someone is as my same age or younger than me, they either view you as too immature to lead them, you're too young, you can't pour into me, or you're the same age as me, you're my equal. And Moray Lavander is on here. He's commenting because he's an Israelite himself. And he's testifying to what happened. You can't say nothing to me, Joshua. You are my equal. Lord knows that many of those children would also take on the characteristics of their parents, being stiff-necked and hard-headed. So now you got a people that's your same age, many of them. The only person you have on your side that you can get along with is your right-hand man, Caleb, who wasn't an Israelite. So you got Caleb and you got Joshua. The only person that you can talk to who understands your leadership and who accepts you as the leader is Caleb. Everybody else, you can't lead us. You're just the same age as us. If you're not the same age as us, you're just a little bit older than us. So you're our equal. So it takes the Most High to have to grab this young leader who is going to encounter more hell than he's seen his successor, than he's seen his mentor do, his father. Because that's what Moses was to him. He was like a father to him. Because he had to go sit at the feet of his father while he's up on Mount Sinai getting the laws, statutes, and commandments. He has to wait at the bottom. He has to take and mentor Joshua because he has to prepare him to lead. Why? Because the Most High gave Moses the instructions that Joshua would be the next leader. So now he got to take him by the hand. One who wasn't looking to be a leader. Let's clear that up. Let's get that understanding. One who was not looking to be a leader, but yet the Father chose him the same way he chose Moses. Take him and teach him the ways and give him maturity. Before you pass, he needs maturity. He needs to be matured fast. But as you're maturing, and I want you older leaders to listen to this, for those who are going to be your successor, as you mature and develop him, don't kill his zeal. Don't take away everything that I gave him. I want y'all to listen to this. Because sometimes as older leaders, we have a problem with that. We try to strip them all the way down and build them up the way we want. No. Joshua was always a fighter. Moses didn't take that from him, but Moses poured into him wisdom. Because you don't need a passive leader. You don't need a leader that is a nurturer. And that doesn't mean that you're passive because you're a nurturer. Both of them they were just two different people in their temperament. Moses, you're a nurturer. I need you to nurture the people. This is why Moses was always interceding for Israel, because he was a nurturer. Joshua was a fighter. But when it came time for him to lead, he needed to use wisdom that Moses gave him to make decisions on when to fight, how to fight, when not to fight, when they was fighting other nations and when they was fighting within. As a leader, let me tell y'all something. As a leader, you deal, especially leader of a congregation, you deal with more infighting than outfighting. Majority of the time, you need the wisdom not to deal with people who you fighting outside outside the assembly, outside of the congregation. No, you need the wisdom to deal with people who fighting inside the congregation. That's what you need the wisdom for. You know how to deal with outsiders. It's when the people inside fighting against each other more, as well as them inside fighting against the leader. So the Most High has to pour into Joshua and reaffirm him. And we're going to see this. He reaffirms him. Because before he sends him to lead, he needs reaffirming. Because guess what? Joshua know the people he dealing with. The same way John knew the people he was dealing with. Instead, John said, I'm going to the wilderness. I ain't dealing with these jokers. When it came time for Paul to be called, Shaul, when it came time for him to be called, the Most High said, I've chosen him, okay, to go through some things. Most of that stuff that Joshua, that Paul was going through was dealing with a stiff-necked people, dealing with some crazy people, tapping and dappering and all kinds of stuff. So, and them same people was some of the folks who was beating his behind. So he had to suffer for my name's sake. That suffering was dealing with the same suffering of stiff-necked people that did not want to do what the Father said. That was a part of the suffering. That probably was most of it. It wasn't getting beat by other nations. It was getting beat by your own people because you're trying to help them. So now, Paul, you had to lead people into unfamiliar areas. Joshua, you're going to have to lead these people into a land that they're unfamiliar with. They're going to have to go into territories that they're unfamiliar with. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be with you, but don't think you ain't got to do no work. That's the problem. This is why people fall off. People, when they first come into something, they love it, they see it until it's time to go. Until it's time to walk into that promised land. And before you get it, as you talk about going to the promised land, everybody down until you actually start walking and start doing what it takes to get the promised land. Don't nobody want to fight for nothing. Everybody wants something to be handed to them. And as soon as they catch a little heat on their neck, they're ready to throw in the towel. They're ready to give up. They ready to bring indictments against God and tell him that he ain't with them. He might not be real. I'm tired of going through this and all that other stuff. When in fact, he said, I'm going to be with you, but that don't mean you ain't going to work for it. I don't want nothing just handed to me. Because the point is, I want to show you the greatness in you. And you can't see the greatness in you if I give it to you without you having to work for it. I'm going to give it to you, but it's your job to maintain it. It's just like marriage. Just like marriage. Man that find a wife found a good thing. Yes, that's right. You found a good thing, but you're going to have to maintain that good thing. You got to work hard to make sure that your marriage stays solid. This is why I tell people all the time, you don't become a wife when you get married. You don't become a husband when you get married. You work on that before you get married. Because guess what? You're going to have a lot of maintenance and maintaining you're going to have to do. And this is what he have to affirm Joshua. Y'all got to fight these people outside. But these people here that you walking with, these folk going to fight you on every level. And this is what we're seeing right now. It's more infighting in Israel than anything. Look at what it says, Joshua chapter number 1. I'm going to read this real quick and we're going to get up out of here, all right? I'm going to read this and we're going to get up out of here. I'm not going to be that long. But look, we're going to let the scripture talk. I've already kind of given an analysis and kind of a breakdown of everything. But we're just going to read the scripts and we're going to look at it. All right, hallelujah. All right, hallelujah. Shalom, Sister Renda. Let's look at this. Joshua chapter number 1. Now, after the death of Moshe, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Listen, look at the dialogue on how the Most High is going to talk to Joshua. See, it's very important to pay attention to how he talks to people and how he affirms them. He's saying, the one who you depended upon, because we all depend on our leaders. The one who you've depended upon, he is now no longer in a position of dependence. You have nobody but me now. See, this is why people, I keep telling people that I don't need no teacher. Let me tell you something. Joshua needed Moses to teach him before he became a leader. And then once that takes place and his time is up, then the Spirit which used the man to help develop you, now you've come to a maturation process. Now the Spirit can use you because you've grown in development. You've grown in development. You trying to step out here and you ain't developed nothing. You can barely walk. Your legs ain't strong enough. You ain't been able to stand up properly. You can't take a step because your legs ain't strong enough, but you standing up and falling over on your hands like a child. You're not strong enough yet. But look what he says in verse number 2. Moshe, my servant, or Moses is dead. Now therefore arise. Go over this Jordan. He's given direction. See, he talks about his dependency being gone. Now he gives instruction of where he's going. Now he's given instruction of where he's going. You see how the Most High does? The Most High gives you instruction of where you're going, but that doesn't mean he gives you all the details. He gives you enough to start you on your way, but once you get in it, now you got to trust him. Sometimes once you get in it, ain't no directions. Now you just have to trust him where you're going. He said, Joshua, go over this Jordan. That's the instruction. No longer can you be dependent upon Moses. Now you got to lead these people. Go over this Jordan, okay? Go in this direction. Take the people with you. But look what it says next. He says, unto the land which I do give them, even to the children of Israel. See, look at what he says. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. Listen to what he said. This is very important. Look at what he said. He said, listen, everywhere your foot tread upon, Israel. What's up, Minister Church? Love you, brother. Everywhere your foot tread upon. He didn't give me, he said everywhere. So even when you can't see my hand moving, even when you can't hear me talking, even when it seems cloudy, no matter where your foot tread, everywhere. I don't care if it's going into a mosque. I don't care if it's going into a Christian church. I don't care if it's going into a Hebrew assembly. I don't care where, if it's on your job or in the street corner. It's everywhere. Even when it seems like you can't see my hand moving, even when it seems like you can't hear me talking to you, it look cloudy, you questioning yourself. He said, I have given it to you. I'm with you, because all the time I don't talk when you're in the midst of everything. Sometimes you got to trust me. For which many of you did. You got to trust me. You know I told you to go. Same to Abraham. Go and I'm going to show. Go and then you got to trust me. You got to trust me. He didn't talk to Abraham all the time, but Abraham had to trust him after the direction was given. Look at what it says. Verse number 4. He said, from the wilderness, this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites. Look at what he said. Look how he's talking to him. So when you come into these Hittites, just know they may try to fight against you, but they can't conquer you. They can't overtake you. Because when you go into the land of the Hittites, they're going to fight. They're going to fight you. When you go into the land of the Hittites, they are going to fight against you. When you go on that job that I just gave you, when you go on that job that I just promoted you on, them people that you now have to oversee because they felt that you were more qualified, that they were more qualified than you, they're going to fight you, but they will not overtake you. They're going to fight you. Yeah, you know that husband that you just married, that your mother and your father and your mother didn't want you to marry, but you know Yah told you to do that, they're going to fight you. They're going to fight you, but that don't mean they're going to overtake you. None of us should fear opposition. The thing that we should fear is if Yah is with us. That's the thing. Once you are resolved in him being with you, it don't matter where you go. Everywhere you go, no matter the opposition, no matter what people say about you, no matter how people come against you, you know that they can't overtake you. Look at what it says in verse number 4. And unto the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. Verse number 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee. Look what he's reaffirming him. Because guess what? You're going to be smaller in number than many people. But don't get it twisted and think just because you're small in number that I ain't with you. It may seem like you're going to lose some friends along the way. Because where I'm sending you, everybody's not going to walk with you. But just understand that I'm with you. That I'm with you. No man will better stand before thee all the days of thy life. Listen, all the days of your life. As I was with, listen to reaffirming. Because Joshua saw how the Most High was with Moses. So in the wisdom of Yah, he uses Moses as an example and a demonstration to reaffirm this young radical leader who's maybe going to question himself because he didn't have the opportunity to spend 40 years in the wilderness before being sent into Egypt. He didn't have time to prepare his assignment 40 years. He didn't have time to do that like Moses. So the Most High got to deal with him differently. He didn't have time to talk to a bush. He didn't have time to have a father-in-law in Jethro to give him wisdom. He didn't have that time. So guess what? Now the Most High got to reaffirm him that I'm with you. And I'm going to use the one that you follow, the one that spoke into your life as a demonstration, as an example. You saw the Red Sea being parted. You saw what went down in Egypt. You saw what I did, all the plagues. You know the power that I possess. Now I'm going to transfer that and I'm going to put it in your hands. As long as you trust me. And as long as you do what I say. Nobody, no man, no woman, not even a devil in hell can stand against you when you are firm in your belief that the Most High is with you. Nobody. I don't care who rise up against you. And he's reaffirming him before he sent him on his way. Not even your own people who are against you will stand. We've seen that before. When they tried to rise up, the Most High opened up the ground on Israel. You're not going to rise up on the Most High leaders and think you're just going to get away with it. The Most High will open up the ground and you'll lose your job. The Most High open up the ground and you'll lose finances. Yeah, that's why I keep telling people, be careful, man, the things that you say, man. You don't agree with something, you don't like the way somebody doing something, keep your mouth off them. That's the best way to stay out of problems with the Most High. That's the best way. Everybody running around here talking and throwing the devil on everybody. The Most High show you. I done seen over this past year so many people who was always throwing the devil on folks. Now, everybody throwing the devil on them. Everybody throwing the devil on them, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. Because the Most High is the righteous judge. But let's keep reading. Let's finish up. As I was with Moses, listen to this, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. I will not fail you, nor will I forsake you. Man will, but not the Most High. Listen, I love this. Look at what he said in verse number 6. He says, be strong. Be strong and of good courage. Because you're going to have to fight your people, and you're going to have to fight these folks out here in these other nations, because they ain't going to give up the land, and the people that you leading not going to always agree with the direction you taking them. That should have helped somebody, whether in their household or in their congregation. This ain't just for leaders in the congregation. This is the leaders at the house. That some of y'all in your own house as leaders, your wife don't agree with the direction you taking them. But the Most High say, be of good cheer and good courageous, or be courage. All right, have courage. Be courageous. Some of y'all in your household as sisters, y'all know doggone well that you have the solution to keep y'all out or from being thrown out on the street. The Most High say, be courageous. All right. He says, be strong. Tell your husband. All right. The same way Sarah told Abram to send the lad on his way. You need to stop taking care of the bills. Men, I just got to say this to help y'all, and I'm going to close the book. Some of these brothers, I'm telling y'all right now, man, some of these brothers, I know it's in your heart to want to be the man, to pay the bills and all of that stuff, but you find yourself putting you and your family in a world of trouble. If your wife know how to pay the bill, let her pay the bills, man. Okay? Let her pay the bills, man. Let her pay the bill. It does not make you no less than a man if you don't pay the bills. Brothers, I'm going to say it again. Okay? I'm going to say this again. Brothers, if your wife can't cook, and you're a better cook than she is, brother, get in the kitchen and cook. It don't make you no less than a man because you cooking. She don't. Okay? She don't. Peter talks about being heirs together, ruling together. Okay? Brothers, I'm trying to help y'all. Sisters, I'm trying to help y'all. Okay? Be courageous, be strong, because I'm telling you, man, don't lead your family off the cliff if you can do a better job in the area. Okay, better. Come on, man. We got to stop this. Stop listening to these folks online trying to build your ego and all that type of stuff. Man, the ego will get you behind in a world of trouble. All right, now let's keep rolling. Look at what it says right here. All right, we're gonna read like two more verses. All right, he says, verse number 6: be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Listen to this. The land, okay, that's given to Israel was not a promise to Israel. Now let me explain, because I know somebody's over here, it's messing up your theology, your doctrine, your mindset of what I'm saying. Just for those in the back who don't get it. He specifically said, okay, he said that this is given to Israel because of the promise that he made to Moses. But that same promise that was made to Moses was actually made to Abraham. This promise was all about the covenant and the agreement between the Most High and Abraham. Israel, you are the beneficiaries of a contract that was done for your forefather Abraham. But you running around here thinking that it was a direct agreement between you and the Most High. This ain't have nothing to do with you and the Most High making no deal about anything. You are a beneficiary, okay, of something that was given to Abraham, a promise made to Abraham. Once we come into that perspective and understanding, then we won't walk around here as arrogant as we do. We won't walk around as arrogant as we do. Thank you, Moray Lavander, for putting that up. We would not walk around as arrogant as we do If we understand who the promise was made to. The promise was made to a Hebrew, but it wasn't made to an Israelite. Uh-oh. I know people are saying, what? What did he just say what he said? No, Abraham was not an Israelite. Israelites didn't come on the scene until Jacob, and Jacob's name later became Israel. That means Jacob himself wasn't an Israelite. His descendants were Israelites. Okay? Let's get an understanding of that. Once we understand the perspective that we are beneficiaries of a promise that was made to our forefather Abraham, we wouldn't walk around as arrogant as we do. We'll keep things in proper perspectives. Now, does that mean that we don't play an important role in what the Father is trying to do? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. But we'll keep things in proper perspective. That a deal was made, and it wasn't made with Jacob. It was made with Abraham first. And Jacob was a beneficiary of it. All right, let's finish up. He says, verse number 7, only be strong and of good courage verse number 7, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Your contract and your deal was to keep the law. Listen to this. That was your contract. Your contract wasn't Abraham's contract. But if you do what you're told and you be obedient, you can benefit. Your name can be on the beneficiary line. All right, within the contract or the agreement after Abraham passed, which was wheeled down, which is a wheel that was wheeled down to Moses. Now you can be put in the wheel too, if you act right. Now you don't want to act right, then you find yourself outside the wheel. So look what he says here. Verse number 7. He said, observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. Verse number 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe and do according to all that is written therein. For then, if you do what is told to you, thou shalt prosper. Hello, honey. My wife on Lady Emma. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee, be strong and of good courage, be not afraid, neither thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare ye victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over the Jordan to go and possess the land, whether the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. Now he gives the instruction after he receives the instructions. But you're going to fight. You're going to fight against your people. And you're going to fight against them other people. You better be strong and be courageous, because you're going to get it from both sides. Joshua caught heat from both sides. See, when you do the will of the Father, there's no partiality. And when you're not partial, you catch heat from both sides. It comes with the territory. But he affirms us to be strong, be courageous, even when it seems as though everybody's against you. Once Joshua received it, because you got to receive it, then he was able to give the instructions of where we're going. Now he's able to lead people who's going to fight against, who's not going to act right when they get there. Because several times we've seen that them jokers were doing everything the Most High told them not to do and everything Joshua told them not to do. And he still had to intercede for them. But he also still had to kill some of they behind. The ground swallowed them up with Moses. Joshua killed they behind. It's some Israelites out here kill your behind. In the name of the Most High. And that ain't physical. They'll cut you off. It's different ways. But as long as it's in the will of the Most High, everything gonna be all right. I wanted to encourage y'all. Just because it seems as though the Most High hand ain't moving, it seems cloudy, it seems gray, don't never think that he's not with you. Sometimes he allows it to get cloudy to build your faith, to make sure. Sometimes you may not always agree with the direction your leader taking you in. Whether it's the leader, whether you're being the leader in your household or whether you're being a leader over a congregation. Sometimes people ain't going to understand. But you have to still keep trusting. You have to still keep trusting. And as long as you trust him, as he told Joshua, I will be with you always, and I will never forsake you. Thank you all for sharing this live. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go check it out. Also, don't forget all the information about the events going on. You have any questions? Hit up those who are on here that I suggested, or you can hit me up and I'll let them get in contact with you. But blessings to you all, man. It's all good. It's all love. I pray that you cannot eat without eating from the word of Yah, for man should not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeded out of Yah. I pray that you cannot drink without drinking from the living waters that flows from Christ. Let the light that is within you shine bright outside of you. And remember to love one another so that the world may know that we serve the true and living Yah. Thank you all for joining, all of the pastors, all the leaders that are on here. Blessings to you all. Stay encouraged. All of those who are leading their homes and their households as men of the Most High, thank you. Stay encouraged. All of the sisters that are on here that have the wisdom to be able to pour into your husbands, pour into all the sisters that don't have a husband yet. Continue to work on yourself as a wife before you get married. All the brothers who aren't married and that are seeking to find that wife, continue to develop yourself, continue to prepare. And so when that time comes, you'll be prepared and the Most High will be with your union. All right. Shalom to you all. Grace, peace, and many blessings.